What's going on, everybody? It's your boy, Mr. Lightwork for short. And today, we're going to be talking about the live stream in reference to the Madden 21 beta. Okay, the feedback that they got, what they changed, what they didn't change, and we just going to talk about it all. So if you're new to my channel, go ahead and subscribe. Also hit that bell icon so you know when my videos do drop. Hey man, check out my Instagram and my TikTok. They'll be up in the corner somewhere. But let's jump in. Okay, so let's talk about the additional gameplay features. Celebration mechanic, no precision modifier, pre-play defensive adjustment, DB lock on, ball carrier archetype run styles. Okay, now we're gonna break each one of these down. I'm gonna read the notes for celebration mechanic and precision modifier, and then we're gonna jump into the rest of them. Okay, so I'm gonna start off with the small stuff first. The celebration run mechanic is now L2, and the loss of the precision modifier that was L2 and left trigger. Okay, the celebration, the reason why they made it one button is because of the new skill stick, and it was basically going to become a unused button. And the reason for that is because of the left stick being so much naturally steering now, that and the right stick being the juke button, they wanted to get away from left stick usage. And what I mean by that is there's no more left stick juking. Okay, and I know that was big in Madden 20, but they wanted to be a more natural game, and I understand that this is what people have been hollering for and asking for. So the celebration button is now L2 or left trigger, and the precision modifier is out of there. Okay, so there's no more precision modifier in Madden. So the next thing we're going to talk about is pre-play defensive adjustments. Because we introduced the new defensive back lock-on mechanic, which can be activated in pre-play, we needed to shuffle around the defensive pre-play mechanics to support it. Pressing LB L1 will now activate DB lock-on for your user control player either in play, either pre-play or during the play. RB R1 is where you'll find the defensive menu keys that were previously LBL1. Now, to break all that down, okay, RB R1 is now how you contain the quarterback, how you send the blitz or commit to the pass, commit to the run, different things like that. L1 LB is the lock-on mechanic. Now, here's the problem with the lock-on mechanic. The problem with that is basically you playing man coverage on the AI or on a certain receiver on defense. Now, that sounds great. That sounds some realistic, but all it is man coverage, and a lot of guys will like to play with a free player in pass coverage. The reason why is because you can cover more routes, but your user is going to change. Okay, your user is going to change, and you may have to accept what I'm about to tell you. All right, but that's the lock-on mechanic. I would talk more about the DB lock-on, but that's basically what it is in a nutshell. Is that it is man coverage, your user versus the AI. Pretty and simple. All right, so let's talk about some archetypes. Ball carrier archetype run styles. An additional feature of depth coming to Madden NFL 21 via the skill stick system is the concept of the ball carrier archetypes that directly impact the run cycle and special moves each player will use. Here's a quick breakdown of how this works based on rating, height, and weight. Now, just for a quick breakdown of what I just read, your height, size, and ratings actually matter in reference to running the ball. Let's look at the list. Okay, so the first three builds is all agile. Okay, the first agile is the guys that have a higher agility rating over 80, and they're under 225 pounds. Okay, so those are your Christian McCaffreys. All right, they're going to have a certain set of moves that they're able to do in reference to the skill stick. Next up is Tyreek Hill. Any guy under 5'10" will have quicker steps, quicker jukes. You know, his strides are not that long, so his moves will be faster. Okay, think about Henry Ruggs in that regard. Next up is agile tall. These are your Julios. These are your wide receivers. These are your, you know, Keenan Allens. They're going to have a certain amount of certain moves, certain special moves, excuse me, that they'll be able to do. But their moves are going to be much slower compared to Tyreek Hill or Christian McCaffrey because they're taller. Okay, next up is the bruiser. Okay, they have a lower agility under 80 and they weigh over 225 pounds. The example they gave was CJ Anderson. All right, bruiser quick is more like your Derrick Henrys, the guys that have a speed rating 90 or above. All right, so speed plays a part in bruiser quick. Okay, do not think that since your guy is a running back and he has decent speed that he'll be a bruiser quick. That's not how it works. Okay, they gotta have over a 90 speed. And last but not least is bruiser heavy. These are for your offensive lineman, okay, your defensive lineman. Anybody that's over 290 pounds, they're gonna be moving like a slug if you got them juking. Okay, they toting around bricks in their back pocket when they hit their little juke moves. Okay, so do not, I repeat, do not think when your lineman pick the ball up you're gonna be out. That's not gonna happen. Okay, that's not. It's gonna be like you carrying weights, running in water. Just giving you an example. Now let's talk about most upvoted feedback. Okay, now this is gonna touch on a lot of stuff, so please bear with me, hear me out, okay, and please do not get mad at me for what I'm about to tell y'all. Okay, so the first thing we're going to talk about is the defensive user. Okay, a lot of people say they felt sluggish, felt slow. Well, this is why. The speed at which defenders change of direction will largely be unchanged because of the vision for gameplay balance. It's focused more on authentic player movements and strategic decisions. Let me just break that down for y'all. What they're saying is you're not going to be able to cover multiple routes in this game. That means you're going to be able to cover one, maybe two if they're in the general vicinity. You're not going to be covering the left side of the field to the right side of the field. I am sorry. I know a lot of people did not like the way their user was feeling, but this is what you get when you ask for a real football game. This is what you get. And now we have to deal with it as players. Now, I do like that the game is going in a more authentic direction, more real life simulation. I get it. I understand it, and I like the way it's going. But a lot of people was complaining to me, especially the crew, about how the users felt slow and different things like that. You have to understand, if you want a real football game, this is what comes with a real football game. Okay, so the next thing we're going to talk about is the dumb outs, okay? And what I mean by dumb outs, I mean receivers not reacting to the ball, defenders as well, okay? They say that they have been working on this. They're going to keep an eye on it. They cleaned it up and everything like that. I know when I played the beta, a lot of times my defenders and my offensive players were getting hit in the head with the ball. They wouldn't put their hands up. They wouldn't do anything. It's just like the ball would just hit them in the head and it'll be an incomplete pass. You know, so they said they are cleaning that up, okay? I did just want to touch on that because I know a lot of people was complaining about it. They were dumbing out. The crew didn't complain about them dumbing out, but I know a lot of people through Twitter and different things like that was saying that they were dumbing out and they weren't catching balls, easy balls that should have been just caught and ran with interceptions that was just dropped for whatever reason. So they said it was a bugs in the catching system, but they have fixed it, cleaned it up, and we'll keep an eye on it post-launch, okay? So they did fix that. Okay, so let's talk about defensive zones, okay? Zone coverage doesn't feel effective. So what do they do? Improve reaction times to break on the ball, which scales per defender's zone and man ratings, okay? In match zones. They added logic to modify breaking on ball reactions, okay, and facing the direction. So if your defender is can see the throw. If he can see the throw, he'll break faster than if he can't see it, okay, if he gets turned around. Improved zone behavior for defenders with zone coverage abilities. that means they're going to play their zones much better. Okay, now that should be a natural fix, but hey, look, we gotta live and die with EA. Fix issues with cover four quarters and palms, causing zone defenders to react too much to the play action. That's something that my opponent was doing a lot. I guess he figured that out, and he was kind of pulling my zones down instead of them taking 3 steps back first. They fixed the logic problems, quarter flat zones. They were matching vertical routes. They fixed the logic problem in cover three with the halfback wheel. They improved the underneath zones. In cover three and cover two, will get updates after launch. Okay, they're gonna get fixed with title updates. Now, with all that being said, the thing that I'm glad they fixed was all of it. But this lets me know that the game will play much better if this is done correctly. If this is done correctly, your zones will play much better and you'll be able to do a little bit more because you can depend on your zones instead of having to do too much as a user. Okay? But let's jump on to the next thing. All right, so let's talk about the next thing, which is my favorite ability, film study. Okay? Now, while film study ability will not be available in the game for launch, they do plan on introducing it later in the year via title update. We are going to continue to balance and tune the ability to make it fair and balanced as possible for all of our players before we release it. And all the feedback we got from the community will be extremely helpful toward that iteration. Now, I loved film study. The reason why is because it makes people play different. It makes people pick different plays, different formations, things like that. Now, the way they want to do it, or the way they were talking about it on the live stream, is if you run the same play 4 times, the play, not the formation, the play, then the play art will pop up. Now, I like that because now you can't spam this one play. You have to pick something different, a RPO, different things like that. But if you continuously run this play back to back to back to back, the player is going to pop up. Now, they're not going to allow you to see the hot routes and different things like that like it was in the beta, but they will let you see that play art. So now if he audibles or whatever, then you can't see it. You won't be able to see it. It'll go away. But, with that ability comes people using it against you, running the same play 4 times. After they get a first down on the 4th time or the 3rd time, they'll run it one more time, show you the play art, and then after they show you the play art, run a totally different play. So what's going to have to happen is you're going to have to make adjustments for a pass and a run, and then have the other side of your defense ready for a run coming to their side. So it's all about strategy, man, and I love that. I love that ability, man, and I cannot wait till they put it back in the game. But, people complained about it, people loved it, so we'll see what happens later on in the year. Okay, so this is what they did for the QB fatigue. All right, so here's the improvement. Decrease in fatigue penalty for simply running with an out-of-position ball carrier but not getting hit, okay? They increase the fatigue penalty when taking hits with an out-of-position ball carrier, more significant when taking hit stick tackles, all right? So let me break that down for y'all. If he doesn't get hit, if he slides or if he runs out of bounds, his fatigue will not be severe, will not be much of a penalty. It's not going to hurt him as much as him taking a big hit, okay, or a hit stick, all right? If he's getting tackled by one player like a Bobby Wag and he takes a big hit and doesn't fumble, if he's out of position, if he's an out of position ball carrier, that means a QB scrambling for yards. If it's Tyreek Hill on a jet sweep or whatever, if they take big hits, their fatigue will go down severely. And that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense, especially if you play football. Now, of course, people are going to say, well, they take hits all game. They don't get tired. They shouldn't be getting tired like this. You've never been hit before. I mean, I'm talking about take a big hit shot from a big time player and try to get up from it. It takes a lot more energy than you running out of bounds or you sliding. So there's a big difference, and I'm glad they implemented this because there's no more, oh, I'm just going to run with Lamar 30 times a game. That's not going to happen. You may have 10 good runs with Lamar. 10. I think the most he's ever carried the ball was maybe 15 times, if I'm not mistaken. So y'all have to understand, if you want a real football game, this is what you get. Period. This is what you get. This is real. This is how real football games are played. Well, real life football is played. But y'all gonna say, oh well, it's a video game. But which one do you want? Do you want real life or do you not want real life? Do you want arcade or do you just want this simulation type game that we had for the past 20 years, 30 years? Well, it's 20 years. So, you know the math. You know the math. However long Madden been out. So that's the thing, man. I've heard guys complain about the game not being real, that game not being this, being that, blah, 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 blah. Now you're getting something real, and now you're going to complain about that too. And you shouldn't. But this is what we got, guys. All right? Now, that's the end of the video. I hope y'all enjoyed my commentary. I hope you enjoyed this breakdown. I love doing this for y'all. I love bringing y'all the news and breaking things down for y'all so y'all can understand. But when you do the work, you see the light. It's your boy Lightwork. I am out. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. Peace.